Before getting into this recording, I just would like to say if you haven't filled out the Google form yet to let me know what kind of colors or designs you'd like to see for the upcoming hat release, there will be a link in the description of this video if you're listening to this or watching this on YouTube. And if you're listening to this on Spotify or Apple, in the description there will also be a link not only to fill out that Google form, but also to sign up for the email list. And as I said in my last few recordings, people who sign up for the email list will be notified first when the hats are released. There will only be a very limited quantity of these hats, so if you want to get one, if you want to get your hands on one, be sure to sign up for the email list to be notified first when they are ready to be released and when the site goes live. So both the Google form and the sign up for the email list will be in the description of this video. If you enjoy being a part of our community, if you want to represent that present lifestyle, then this is the way to do it. I'm grateful for everyone who's a part of our community, everyone who engages with the content. It really does mean the world to me, and I see this being something really special. So thank you again for being here. Thank you again for listening, and let's get into this recording. In today's world, I think it's very easy to compare yourself with other people, compare what you have to what somebody else has, whether it be somebody you know or somebody you don't know, someone who you may see on social media. It's very easy to operate from ego, thinking that you need to get somewhere to impress somebody. And it's very easy to get sucked out of the present moment and think about what might happen in the future. If you're working towards a specific goal, maybe you're anxious about what might happen in the future, how things are going to connect, how you're going to get to the places that you want to get to. It's very, very easy to feel like you're not making enough progress. It's very easy to think about the past and be regretful or be worried or upset or stressed because of the mistakes that you may have made in the past. And I think if you can focus on these three pillars, which I'm going to say in this recording, talk about in this recording, then ultimately, I think if you can focus on these three pillars, at the end of the day, when you put your head on your pillow before you go to sleep, you can be confident in yourself, be confident in how you carried yourself, be confident in how you went about your business. And I also think that you're just going to feel very self-assured in who you are and what you're about. And that's a great feeling to have. And like I said, the day and age that we live in, the world that we live in, it's very easy to compare what you have to what somebody else has. It's very easy to stress and worry about the future, the past, get sucked out of the present moment and operate from ego, thinking that you need to just get somewhere. And if I got there, I'd be happy. Or once I get there, I'll be able to show it off to other people who I don't even care about, but you just feel like you need to show off your achievements and successes or whatever it is. I think if you could focus on these three pillars, you're just going to feel confident in who you are. It's going to fill you with this quiet confidence. You're going to be self-assured. And that's, I feel like, a rare quality in the day and age that we live in. Everyone's trying to chase something. Everyone's trying to get somewhere. And our mind is running 24/7, constantly thinking about a million different things. If you just have this quiet confidence about who you are and you like yourself, like you actually have a deeper relationship with yourself, then I think that's an incredible quality, and a quality that will take you places, ultimately. You have to realize, I think, and this is something that I'm learning, is that ultimately there's a lot of things that are outside of our control. And by focusing your energy and attention on you and your journey and who you are, and doing everything that you can to focus on the controllables and focus on what it is you can control, that will allow you to really narrow your focus on what is important to you, what is a priority to you. So ultimately, you can grow and become better, and ultimately do get to the places that you want to get to, the places that you see for yourself. In the world that we live in, there's a lot of uncertainty. Like I said, there's things that we cannot control. But when you set a certain standard for yourself, when you create a specific standard that you live by, you create and you form direction in your life, like a pathway that you can walk on every single day and a way of being that you live by that gives you certainty in a very uncertain world. Without direction, without a standard that you set, we're always going to fall back on things that give us comfort and things that don't really help us grow that much. We're going to fall back on our automatic processes and things that we just do habitually, things that may not provide us with any real benefit. But having a standard that you set gives you certainty in a world that is uncertain, because there's things, like I said, that are outside of our control. But when you focus on what it is you can control, like leaning on these 3 pillars, and I know I'm kind of just like beating around the bush, but I promise I will say what they are in a minute. Now, there are 3 things that I like to remind myself of whenever I feel stressed or worried, or I'm just too stuck in my head thinking about the past, thinking about the future, thinking about what could happen or how things are going to happen. Then you start creating this resistance, or you start thinking about the past and the mistakes that you may have made in the past or things that you regret. So these 3 things, which I'm going to say, have helped me a lot reframe, focus on what I can control, and gives me peace, knowing that if I focus on these things, at the end of the day, I can be confident in who I am and how I choose to go about my business and the way that I handle myself. And the first thing I would say is making your intention to show up every single day as you. Showing up and being yourself every single day. Do you, regardless of what other people might say. If you can show up and be your authentic self, you strive to be your authentic self in every room that you walk into, every person you speak with, any environment, any circumstance. If you just show up as yourself and you aren't trying to be anybody else, then I think over time you're going to gain a lot of confidence knowing that what is for you and what is meant for you will not pass you if you are being you. If you speak your truth, if you allow yourself to just be yourself in everything, in any situation, I think you can rest easy at night knowing that you're not faking anything. And that's a powerful trait and characteristic to have, especially in this day and age in the world that we live in. There's a lot of people who fake things and just try to be like other people, look like other people, speak like other people. I think authenticity is ultimately one of the highest, if not the highest levels of energy that you can be operating from. And like I said, if you are you, and if you are you unapologetically, what is for you will not pass you when you're you. Now, another thing I would say, in addition to showing up as yourself and being you every day and everything you do, making the present moment a friend and choosing to spend time consciously in the present moment, I think is also an incredible thing that you can be implementing into your life that will give you this quiet confidence and self-assurance. The only thing that we experience is the present moment. And by choosing to spend time in the here and now, focusing your energy and attention on presence, you focus on taking things one step at a time. You may have a goal or something that you're striving towards, and it can feel very stressful if you aren't making progress, like I said, if you feel like there's so much separation between where you are now and where it is you want to go. It's great to have a vision, it's great to have a goal. I've said this a million times. But ultimately, the things that you do in the here and now and who you are in the here and now will determine what kind of things you will attract to you that will help you get to the places you want to get to or pull you even further away. The present moment is the only moment that we have. By focusing your energy and attention on the step that you are currently taking, understanding that this step is significant. It's not like things will only make sense once you get to your goal. It's not like you'll only feel fulfillment or satisfaction or happiness if you get to your goal. If you realize that this step is significant, the step that you're currently taking is important in your journey, in your story, and you start really making a conscious effort to spend more time in the now, taking conscious deep breaths throughout your day, or having some sort of meditation practice, something that you do that brings you back to your center, that will help you feel more aligned, I think that is probably the most important thing that you could be doing, in addition to, of course, being yourself. Now, the third thing I would say is operating from your heart. If you can operate from your heart and take action from your heart, from this place of wholeness and fullness internally, then regardless of what happens, if you know deep down that you followed your heart and you took action from your heart and you did everything that you could possibly do with all of your heart, then failure quite literally does not exist. You can only win when you operate from your heart, when you are yourself, and when you're present in the moment. The most magnetic people are the people who I believe embody those three character traits or try their best to focus on those three things: being yourself, being in the here and now, being in the present moment, and operating from your heart. I think that if you can have that trio of things and make it a priority to incorporate those things into your life, I think life gets easier. I think life gets more enjoyable. And I think you're just going to learn a lot more about you and the world around you and others. The quiet confidence, like I said, and the self-assurance, when you put your head on your pillow before you go to sleep at night, knowing that you did those three things, how could you do more? Seriously, how could you possibly do more than that? If you did everything you could from your heart, you operated from your heart, you operated with love in the things that you did, you tried your best, knowing that you did everything that you possibly could with all your heart, care, and compassion. You were focused on the step that you currently took in the present moment, the step that you are currently taking, realizing that this is a significant stepping stone of your journey, of your process. And you were yourself every single day, you just were your authentic self, then what else is there to do? Think about how enjoyable life can be when you're incorporating those three things into the things that you do, into who you are, into how you carry yourself and how you go about your business. You did the best that you could, and you will know that you did the best that you could when you do those three things. You aren't faking who you are. You aren't caught up in the future or the past, and you're not trying to snake anybody. And you're not doing things to try to get something in return from other people. Like, you just give openly, you try to provide value. That's all operating from the heart, doing it from a place of love, not doing it from a place of ego or doing it from a place of lack. Like, when you operate with your heart, for example, like, you're operating from a place of wholeness and fullness and love and care for the things that you do and for other people. So you're always going to try your best and do your best when you're operating from your heart. And when you know that you gave it your all in the things that you're doing, you're not going to feel any regret or anything like that. You're just going to feel proud of yourself for doing the best that you could. I'm telling you, this is something that I'm realizing right now. But if you can incorporate those three things into your life, things are going to flow. I feel like things are just going to get a lot lighter and easier and more enjoyable as you progress towards a goal, as you try to make a greater impact on others, a more positive impact on other people. Really think about this and how you can start incorporating those three things into your life, even in the smallest of ways. I'm not saying you're going to wake up tomorrow and instantly these things are going to be instilled in who you are and how you carry yourself. Things may happen that may cause you to react in a certain way, and all of a sudden you're not present anymore. It takes, I think, time to just realize and grow with this, but slowly over time, over the next, let's say, few weeks, if you could just make it a priority to start leveling up in those three categories, or those three pillars, we can call them: being yourself and showing up as yourself every single day, in every conversation, in every room you walk into, in every situation, you just show up and be you. That's number one. Number two, being in the moment, being in the here and now, and spending more time consciously in the present moment. In everything you do, in every room you walk into, in every conversation, you are just more aware of the now and more present in the now, focusing on the step that you are currently taking in the present moment. That's number two. And number three is operating from your heart. And everything you say and do, every action that you take, you do it from this place of wholeness and love and care and you do the things that you do. You take action with all your heart. You operate from your heart. Those three things, if you can incorporate those three things into your life, I think over time you're going to notice incredibly impactful, positive shifts that take place in just how you carry yourself and the way that you see yourself, the way that you perceive yourself. And I think it can just give you a lot of confidence. Like I said, at the end of the day, you just know that you did your best, because I don't know if you do those three things and you do it consistently, I don't know what more you could do. I really don't. So if you try this out, if you make these three pillars a priority, let me know. And this is what I'm going to start doing in my life. And I'm going to see how I feel, I guess, by doing it as well. So let me know if you try this. Let me know if you gain any value from listening to this recording. Obviously, that was my intention. Let me know if you have any comments or questions about anything. So just a quick reminder again before this video ends, if you haven't filled out the Google form yet and you haven't signed up for the email list, there will be links to do so in the description. It would mean a lot to me. And I just want to take a second to show my appreciation and gratitude for you listening and being a part of our community and being a part of Presence of Being. If you want more updates when it comes to the hats, you can follow Presence of Being on Instagram and join the community over there. And I'm guessing if you're listening to this, maybe you follow me on TikTok. That's where a large percentage of my followers come from, I believe. So there will also be updates on there, but I'm more active on Instagram. So if you message me or have any questions or want to comment on this podcast, let me know what you thought about this podcast. You can DM me on Instagram at Presence of Being. I respond to all my messages there. But again, if you haven't filled out those links, it would mean a lot to me if you could and did. And just let me know what you're thinking. Sign up for the email list. There's only going to be a very limited quantity of these hats. So if you want to get one, sign up. Thank you for being here. Thank you for listening. I'll see you in the next recording.